Welcome to this week's episode of Neighbors Cooking. Today, we're diving into the world of comfort food with a healthy twist as we share my all-time favorite meatloaf recipe. I have to admit, I had some serious weakness for meatloaves. I wouldn't be surprised if I could devour an entire 2 pounds of it in one sitting. This delicious recipe is not only a hit with my family and friends, but it's also incredibly simple to make. Looking back, I remember a time when I wouldn't touch my mother's meatloaf with a 10-foot pole. However, the aversion actually inspired me to craft my own mouth-watering recipe, which now has everyone clamoring for seconds. In our fast-paced lives, having the ability to provide meals in a quick and easy way is an absolute game changer. That's why I'm excited to share this time-saving and flavor-packed meatloaf recipe with you. Now, when I'm whipping up a succulent meatloaf, my secret ingredient is the fact I use 80-20 in my meat. So 80% ground beef, 20% fat. That way you get the benefit of all that great oil and it helps to bind everything together. So we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to explore this hearty history of meatloaf while we whip up a delicious batch together. But before we start that, I have an amazing guest this week. Please join me in extending a warm Neighbors Cooking welcome to Renee Punzalan, the director of the new Marsha P LGBTQ Youth Drop-In Center. That is a mouthful. Renee brings with her a deep commitment to creating a safe and supportive environment for LGBTQ youth, ensuring they feel supported, accepted, and respected as they express their identities without a fear of judgment or discrimination. At Neighbors Cooking, we're thrilled to have Renee join our community. Her advocacy, dedication, and passion for supporting the LGBTQ youth in our community is truly admirable. Renee, as she works to Renee's in the process of working on the first youth-centered social event, fostering self-expression and community bonding. Renee, welcome to the show. You're not there. She's trying to bring liquor on us now. Come on, girl. Hi.
What, I couldn't bring my wine with me?
Couldn't bring your wine with you, sorry. You know, kids, right? Can't drink in front of the kids. Anyways, you are the new director of the Marsha P LGBTQ Youth Drop-In Center.
Yes, that's correct.
Tell us about it.
So the Marsha P LGBTQ Youth Drop-In Center is a safe space for youth from the ages of 13 to 18 to come. It's a chill place to be. They can get connected to resources. We link them to education, mentoring, homework assistance. We have a food pantry. We have hygiene products. And while they're there, they can get connected to resources, particularly our free mental health therapy. So it's just a nice, chill place for youth to come, be themselves, hang out, get connected to the resources that they need, and just, you know, have self-expression.
And it's right across the street from Palm Springs High School.
It is. It's right across the street from the Palm Springs High School, which I am a community advisor for their Glow Club. Yeah, which is their GSA club.
Right.
So
the GSAs, if you don't know, are Gay Straight Alliances, and Palm Springs Pride is part of that support. We help to support those alliances with supplies, school supplies, and resources, and other things. So it's great that we can connect them all together and build this great resource for the kids. When we were young, we didn't get that.
No, we didn't have that. I mean, I think 20 years old when I went to a youth drop-in. They were like, "You're kind of old for this," but I had no resource. I came from nothing. I came from no resources.
Right.
I mean, I think my only resources were my 2 uncles who were gay, and then
Right. Well, and I can go even further back to that. When I came out and I was looking for my first gay bar, I looked in the yellow pages. That's a thing that used to be yellow and about this thick. And you looked up, and I looked up. I didn't know what to look up. Gay bars. There was no such listing. But I did find a bar called the Gay 90s. Was not a gay bar.
Hey, well, this is a kid's show.
Right? But, you know, it's nice that we have these opportunities for youth to come together and share where they can't go to bars. There's this gap between adulthood in the gay world, in our gay world, and youth.
Yeah, and well, for me and from my experience, I feel like it's extremely needed right now for youth right now in the environment that we have right now. Yeah. So, you know, it's a great thing to have, and you know, hopefully we'll be around for a while.
So how can people help support you?
We love some sponsors, donors. I mean, you can go to our website, www.trans.health.
We'll put a link in the page.
You can make a monthly donation to help, and any kind of funding that comes in helps expand our youth services. And that's expanding to hire folks. We were looking to hire maybe a student as well in the drop-in. So it just expands the service, and so we can reach a broad audience.
So we also accept food donations,
of course,
school supplies.
Yeah, we accept school supplies, hygiene products, clothes. I just got a really good donation from a therapist who gave us a bunch of LGBT books that are approved for youth to read. So I got a ton. I've gotten food from community members.
So we'll put a link in the page for Facebook to link over to you so that people can go on and see what your needs are and learn more about you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So you are originally from Guam.
I am. Hafa Day. That's our greeting in Guam. Hafa Day.
Hafa Day.
Yeah, it's H-A-F-A, Hafa, and then a day is A-D-A-I. And so we say Hafa Day, and it means like, hi, how are you?
Guam is like Puerto Rico, not a state, but still part of the country.
Yeah, it's an unincorporated U.S. territory. So our currency is the U.S. dollar. Our daddy is the U.S. And but yeah, and yeah.
How long have you been here?
I've been in Palm Springs for about 4 years, and I've been stateside for about 20 plus.
So you're much of a cook?
I am. My grandfather was a chef in the Navy, and he cooked for the Admiral of Guam. And so my father was also a really good chef and taught me a bunch of skills. And then my oldest sister, Marsha, cooks amazingly. My younger sister, Alyssa, cooks amazing. Everybody cooks pretty amazing.
So you're like me, you're always in a hurry, you're always rushing somewhere, so you eat lots of bad food.
Yeah.
We all do. So we're going to teach you how to make this meatloaf that's super simple. And it's not your mom's meatloaf anymore. And I'll share some of the differences. How do you make meatloaf?
I don't make meatloaf, but I do love meatloaf. I don't make it, but I love eating it.
Right.
So.
Well, after today, I bet you'll make some.
I will make this. My boyfriend will want me to make it for him.
So we're going to talk about the ingredients, first of all, that go into this. So for the meatloaf, so we're doing two things today. We're doing these amazing whipped sweet potatoes, and we're doing meatloaf. So for the meatloaf, like I said, I use ground beef and I use ground sausage.
Ooh.
So I do about a pound of each. You can mix whatever meats you want. If you want to have turkey or chicken, you can also do ground turkey or chicken. If you're going to do ground turkey or chicken, you want to make sure that there's enough moisture because turkey and chicken are
they're dry.
So you're going to want to add more moisture. So we'll talk about that. So in this case, we're using 80% ground beef and then a ground mild sausage. You could use sweet sausage, spicy sausage, anything that you want to mix, you can really make yourself. So we've got our two meats. I think we can see this over here. Into that, we are going to start by making some onions. We're going to caramelize the onions. So I'm going to have you come over here.
Ooh, I get to cook.
Caramelize. And we're going to take 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Make sure the pan's hot. You can see it's pretty sizzly already. And then we're going to put these onions in. I'm going to just have you caramelize those. Caramelization is simply just...
Can I use this?
Oh, yeah. No, let me get you a little spatula. There you go. So caramelizing is just putting it into oil or butter, and you're bringing in, for onions, you're bringing out the natural sugars that are already in the onions. So you want to get them to a nice brown. In fact, anything that you want to put into your meatloaf that's a vegetable, an onion, a pepper, unless they're already roasted, you're going to want to caramelize before you put it into the meat because you're going to get a better flavor. And also things like onions will draw moisture in and out of the meat. So you want to make sure you cook them first so that you're not creating even a more dry meatloaf. The other thing that's going to go into our meatloaf is the onion. We've got some barbecue sauce that I make. We've got some red peppers that I've roasted, salt and pepper, and some thyme. Not a whole lot has to go into this. So we're going to start off with just cutting up these red peppers. And these are going to go into the onions at the end. So this is just one solid red pepper. So you can see if I put it back together. I roast these in my air fryer, and they make for much more flavorful peppers. So we're just going to rough chop these. Alright. While you're doing this, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And once you get the loads in the oven, they're going to stay in the oven about 20 minutes. 20 to 25 minutes. You want to get an internal temperature of about 150 degrees. I have this amazing meat temperature, this meat thermostat. It's really industrial. That will quickly measure your heat, your meat. And be great. Also, when you're cooking with beef or a chicken or any meat, make sure you bring that meat up to room temperature. Do not cook with cold meat because your temperatures will all be off. They'll overcook, they won't cook quick enough, and you'll be disappointed. So if you bring your meat up to room temperature whenever you're taking it out of the fridge, you're going to get true heat distribution in it, all right? So we've got our pound of ground beef, we've got our pound of sausage. To that, I'm going to add the thyme. I'm going to add a half a cup of my barbecue sauce that I have actually won awards for, so I'm not going to share the secrets of it because I want to bottle it someday.
Bottle it up and sell it.
Bottle it up and sell it.
What are you going to call it?
Mitch's sauce.
Mitch's barbecue sauce.
How are those onions
Mitch's
doing?
bitchy oh, sorry.
Let's turn this heat up a little bit. Not the worst thing that's been said. All right, so we're going to start mixing this meat up. Get your hands dirty. It's okay. It won't kill you. And it makes for a far better meat. Now, my mom, when she made meatloaf, and probably the reason I didn't like it, and many of you probably have experienced, your moms may have put milk into the meat. They may have put bread into the meat. And back in the day, bread was meant to expand your meat and give you more
like
more on a budget. So if your family was on more of a budget, your mom probably put bread into the meat. She put milk into the meat, which I've never understood. But, you know, the 60s were a different time. Into that, we're going to add these red peppers that we've already roasted. All right.
So these are looking pretty good.
They're looking pretty good.
Brown it up a little bit?
We'll brown them up just a little bit more. So while Renee finishes that, I'm going to put the meat over here by you. And when you're done, you're going to put those onions into the meat.
Oh, awesome.
All right. Next on the agenda today, I am making some sweet potatoes. Real simple. I just took 5 pounds of sweet potatoes. I trimmed them like potatoes. I forget what that's called at the top of my head.
Peel.
Peel. Thank you, Joe. Joe's back. Yay! Peel the sweet potatoes. Cut them up into about 1-inch squares. I steam them. You can boil them, but the problem with boiling, honestly, is you boil out all of the nutrients. So steam them, and then you'll be perfect, and you won't have to worry about losing all the nutritional value of what you're trying to make in the first place. Can I squeeze in here behind you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm gonna cook them up because I don't like my meatloaf to have like chunky, like onions inside them.
Yep.
For some reason, I think it should just be a little more caramelized.
You keep caramelizing. So, with the sweet potatoes, these are already steamed. I just have them in the oven to keep them warm. I'm going to put them into a blender. That's a lot. We're going to add some pepper, some salt, some brown sugar, about a half a cup. I'm going to put in a stick of butter. And keep in mind, all of these are things that you can substitute. If you don't want as much butter, you don't want as much sugar. I even have a little bit of maple syrup that goes in mine.
Ooh, maple syrup, that's
Right? And some cinnamon. Some cream, about a half a cup. And the butter, about 3/4 of the stick. And if you chop those into smaller squares, just put them in.
These are looking pretty caramelized.
All right, so let's go ahead and pour those into the meat.
I love this pan. I need this pan.
Are they great pans?
Yeah. I get my pan from TJ Maxx. I think I need this one.
Hopefully that won't be too loud. We're just going to blend those up in a blender. It's just much quicker and easier to do. All right. Turn that off for me. So we've got our meat back here with the onions. We're going to blend those in. They're hot. Don't burn yourself.
It is kind of hot.
But there's really no other way to put your meatloaf together.
Yeah, right? You gotta use your hands.
Gotta use your hands.
Dirty and...
You can't get dirty with that, then.
It is on a meatloaf.
It's on a meatloaf, exactly. All right. Now, I recommend that you get your cutting board a little bit wet because you're going to take this meat and we're going to put it onto there.
And those are peppers in there?
These are roasted red peppers. All right. So this is very moist in consistency, so it feels kind of like Jell-O. Would be like that, my best description. And then we're just going to divide this into 4. Put them into our little meatloaf containers.
Cool. And those are like silicone.
These are silicone, so they're not going to stick inside of them. You're not going to get a big mess. I still line my tray because I don't want to have to clean the tray afterwards. And then you're just going to form these into small balls. Pop them in. Push them down. And
what kind of sausage was that in there, you said?
Just mild sausage, pork sausage. Yeah. And I like to use that because it adds some flavor and some grease. So, because you want these to stay together. So if you don't have the moisture in there, it all dries out, like with the chicken and turkey would all dry out. And then you just end up with...
So when it cooks, it bonds together.
It bonds all together, yep. So like I said, if you want to change what you put in here, so if you're going to put vegetables, you want sauteed vegetables, you could use chicken, pork, beef, turkey. You could put pepperoni in it, I suppose.
Or in Guam, we like chorizo sausage.
Chorizo, you could use chorizo sausage also. That would certainly be a spin on it, all right? So you've turned your oven on to 350. Now, I'm sure you've seen it with burgers. Stick your thumb in the middle.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you stick your thumb in the middle, it cooks evenly.
Oh, okay.
Same with a big, thick burger. You put your thumb right in the middle of the burger, it completely cooks all the way through instead of the middle being red.
Awesome.
All right? So we're going to put these in the oven. Yeah.
Oh, ooh. There's meatballs in there.
So there are already some in there. All right.
Well, then why does it smell so good already?
Because I am an amazing chef. All right. Just one more quick go around.
So we're making a sweet potato mash?
We're making sweet potato mash.
Oh, okay.
We're going to try and be a little bit fancy with it in our presentation. Presentation is half the effort when you are, putting food out on a plate for somebody. If you just pile it on and it all tastes the same, but odds are people will think that the fancy one is better.
And what is that? That's salt.
Salt and pepper, just a little extra. All right. Now, Tasty too. Really good. Let's take out the ones we've already made. By the magic of television.
We got cooked meatloaves. Ooh, that looks delicious.
All right. So, let's put these on a platter. All right, there we go. Put these aside for a minute. And now we're going to try some pastry magic. See if it works. All right, put some of this in your pastry bag. All right, there we go. Come on, there we go. All right, and we're gonna go across the tops. Ah, it's not coming out the way I want. Oh well. There we go. Yeah. I need a thicker tip. All right.
There we go.
So we're not going to do that. We're just going to put a little bit of mash right on top.
That looks really good.
All right. Mistakes happen in the kitchen. They're just bound to happen.
Yeah, you try stuff.
You try stuff. You know, when I'm filming, when I'm just kind of playing around, I can take time and do it. So we're going to take some barbecue sauce.
Oh, you put barbecue sauce.
We're going to go across the tops of them. Voila. And then we're going to take a little bit parsley. And we're going to cut that up. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit on the top. There you go.
It looks good. I can't want to try it now.
You want to try it now? All right. I'm going to let you try it. All right. All right, Renee. Here we go. Barbecue sauce.
I love the whole barbecue sauce thing.
Well, it just adds a little bit of extra flavor.
You don't see this in like any restaurant, like a meatloaf with a little mash.
That's because they're not cooking with Mitch.
Yay!
Take a bite.
Let me try it.
You want a knife?
I think I'm okay. I think I'll do it like this. It tastes like the holidays because of the sweet potato.
Right. So it's a good. So you're getting savory and sweet. So it kind of is a balancing act with the sweet
Try it with the
barbecue sauce.
Your specialty barbecue sauce.
My specialty barbecue sauce.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Good, good, good. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us on this flavorful journey through the world of cooking and community on Neighbors Cooking. I hope that you've been inspired to bring new flavors to your kitchen and share the joy of food with your neighbors. A special thanks to Renee for gracing our kitchens and being here with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your dedication to creating a safe space for our LGBTQ youth is remarkable, and I'm thankful for that, and I know our community is.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm so
Absolutely.
honored.
Oh, well, I'm honored too.
And I want to finish my food.
Remember, the kitchen is a place where diverse voices come together to create something beautiful. We look forward to welcoming you back into our kitchens next week on Neighbors Cooking. Till then, I'll see you again in the kitchen. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.